Good morning. This is Dr. Timothy Scott Beck here at LifePoint Medical. It is March the 21st, and this is my weekly update here in the office. Just touching base with everybody and talking about things going on. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about COVID. COVID appears to be not hitting this area hard right now. However, if I look on the news, it looks like it's hitting Beijing or somewhere, and I would suspect that it would make it over here. I hope that it don't, and I'm tired of dealing with it, as most of us are. And we've learned so much. Hopefully, going forward, we can find out better ways to manage the situation without hurting ourselves or hurting our economy or hurting our country, or hurting our businesses and things like that. So let's hope that that's the true, and I'll keep praying that COVID thing is out of our way. Okay, so COVID's out of the way, but the spring is here. Matter of fact, I think today actually is the first day of spring, or the spring equinox, March the 21st, or it might be yesterday. I'm not sure, but I'm all about spring. I love spring. Spring is one of my favorite times of year. I like spring, summer, and fall, and then I tolerate winter. So springtime's coming. And we know it's already been hitting a little bit. Things start with the sunlight getting longer, and some warm days. We're getting trees that are blossoming. And remember, in Raymond County, you live in a temperate rainforest, is what the call is, and based on the amount of rainfall you get every year. But we have flora here in Raymond County that there's not anywhere else in the world. It's a unique place. It's one of the reasons I live here. Okay, but it does carry maybe some sensitivities to allergies to the environment that you may not get anywhere else. Okay, so we know that it's springtime. We know that it's blossoming. Things are blossoming, whether it's the grass, the trees, everything's going to start making their pollen or doing their thing to reproduce for the next year. And we always inevitably have a lot of people who come in with sinus infections or having reactions to the allergies, or just plain miserable for your allergies. So let's talk about some strategies that I recommend for you to help with your allergies as they're coming through. First of all, you got your antihistamines, the non-sedating ones and the sedating ones. The non-sedating ones are your Claritins, your Zyrtex, Xyzal, and Allegra. They work really well, and my preferred one is Claritin. I use that one mainly because I don't have any other negative effects from it. I think some of those can make you a little sedated or a little sleepy or a little sluggish. Okay, but Claritin doesn't seem to do that to me, and it seems to work pretty good when I have them. Now, I typically don't get that much allergies throughout the year, but I do see tons of it here in my office. So the antihistamines, the sedating ones are your Benadryls, which are also a common sleep aid. And they're good to use temporarily, but they're well known for making you sleepy or something like that. So we got the nasal flush and rinses, the saline flushes. Those things are wonderful. Your neti pots, your saline flushes, your ocean sprays, whatever it is, those can help you tremendously with mediating your response to the allergies, particularly if you use them at night before you go to bed. And those that'll clean you out so that you're not sitting there with that stuff in there all night long. All of the pharmacies in the area will carry these things, these kits that you can use for saline flushing or sinus flushing kits. So those things are great. The only thing is that I recommend when you use those, or I mandate that you use clean distilled water or boiled water. You do not use tap water, because if you use tap water, you can get some secondary infections from that. So that's, of course, avoidance is always one thing, okay, but it's hard to avoid some of this stuff. And then, so some other strategies that I have for it, like Mucinex. I think Mucinex helps keep things flowing. You can also use Flonase, which is a topical steroid that you spray in your nose. Just remember, you got to use it about 3 weeks before it actually becomes effective. So after that, the only other thing that's really a big deal here in Raven County, during the cold, the moisture doesn't seem to want to grow stuff. Okay, but as we start warming up, that's when mold and all these other stuff starts growing in moist areas. So again, there's another source of of potential allergies is mold in your house or in your basement. I run a full house dehumidifier because I have to. So just be mindful that that's something here, mold. And if you live in Raven County, you most of the time you've got some kind of mold in your house, at least a little bit, and that you have to combat. And that's what I do. I just combat it as best I can by keeping my house dry. So that's the allergy stuff. Now, what can we do about it? We have allergy testing here in the office, and it's paid for by insurance, and we do that about twice a month. So if you've got allergies or you want to know what you're sensitive to, we do the skin test here, and we have a third-party vendor who comes and does that for us. Okay, so they work really well. And if you do have allergies and it's something that we can identify and we can relate to, we can do shots for those allergies. Now, shots are time consuming, but they're also throughout time they've been known to be very helpful with people. And hopefully if you go on the shots, you don't have to take all that other medicine that we were talking about. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about if you do have allergies, you just got something going on, coming to see us sooner than later is always a better way to do things, because we can prevent you from having a severe infection. Okay, we can treat you preemptively and maybe avoid antibiotics if possible. But the main thing I want to avoid is getting sick where you have to go in the hospital, or you have to suffer more than what's necessary for your particular disease. Okay, so we leave a hole open every day for people calling in, okay, because we firmly believe in this, in my company, that getting to you quick and knocking something out when it's little is a much higher level of care than if you just let it go till it gets really sick. And we want to do the best by you on that, okay? Now, the thing about that is we're not going to go out there and drag you in. You have to call us and you have to give us an opportunity, okay? And that's where our partnership comes in, okay? If you think you're getting sick, you think you need to be seen by a doctor, give us a call so we can get you taken care of, okay? Now, I know a lot of people say, well, when I get an infection or something, I give it a few days to see if it gets better or gets worse, and before I call the doctor. And I actually agree with that to a certain degree. But if you got a lot of other stuff, you got a lot of medical illnesses going on, or you're prone to get put in the hospital, you need to come see us sooner than later so we can keep you out of the hospital. Okay? As far as Place of Hope goes, I spent the last weekend doing some training for Place of Hope, which was fun and interesting. We are recruiting volunteers. At this time, if anybody's got an interest in it, you're more than welcome to let me know. And I'll talk to you about it or tell you how to get a hold of somebody. But we're just really blessed with all the opportunities that we've had to serve this community. And we really are getting some really interesting, profoundly needed services to the county and to the community here. And it is a privilege to be a part of it. Okay, and if you want to be a part of it, either through donating or whatever, just keep us in mind and let us know, and we'll help you figure that out. Anyway, this is Dr. Timothy Scott Beck. Thank you for listening to me today, and if you need us, give us a call. Remember, we can help you a lot if we get to you early. Have a great day. Thank you.